Welcome to Three Devs and a Maybe, the podcast series for beginner web developers and general web enthusiasts. Now, introducing your show hosts, Michael Budd, Fraser Hart, Lewis Keynes, and Ed Mann.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Three Devs and a Maybe. And I am Michael Budd, and I'm introducing for the first time in a long time. And I am joined by the exceptional Ed Mann.
Why, thank you.
And the undoubtedly very talented Fraser Hart.
Hello.
Wow.
Can I say I've got massive headphone envy at the moment?
Yeah. Well, you're wearing,
You've both got like really kind of fancy looking headphones, and I've just got these like crappy. I think they were like £6 off Amazon.
Quality.
Really? I thought usually you had like decent headphones on.
No, I've got like a pair of over-ear headphones in the office, but yeah, I never really get a lot of use out of them, to be honest. But yeah, some just crappy little earbuds. Sorry, threw you off track there.
Not at all. So let's go around the room. Ed, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, man. Just one thing before we start. Now, I know how amazing your internet is.
Yes.
You may be sounding a little bit like
tinny.
A robot, a little bit tinny. I think it may be the video. Well, the audience.
Should we say farewell to our videos?
Should we say farewell to the video? Sorry, us, because the audience don't even care, really. Sorry, us. You know, we won't be able to see each other, but you know, we'll just be talking on the phone now. But no, I am very good. Thank you, Mickey, and good to see you guys on a Sunday morning, which feels kind of early. What have we been up to? Work stuff's going really well. Doing a lot of Google Analytics stuff actually this week, which was quite interesting.
What have you been doing with Google Analytics?
A/B testing. Interesting. I know. This is like the marketing dream. They love this stuff where you kind of do a tweak on one like area, say like an in-content tweak, like how can we word this button or something, and seeing like if they go through a particular goal, and it's quite interesting. Like the amount of data you can get from it. And Google, the thing is, Google Analytics is definitely the best analytics tool out there, which is scary because obviously everyone puts it on their website. And Google then has all this information as well, which is very scary because then they know all this stuff. And the amount of information it picks up and is able to work out, you know, like you go through a particular place to get a conversion. So you've gone through that page, and then you've done a conversion. And no, it's been really interesting, a lot of eye-opening and stuff to play around with that. And there's a couple of actual tools that the Google Analytics debugger is really good. For doing
I've not even heard of that.
It's quite cool. What it does is because when you're looking on pages and stuff, like it's very kind of opaque of what it does. It just, I guess it's just send that stuff because you just put the code on your website and you just hit and hope. Mm-hmm. What this does is it actually then in the console on Chrome, it just does debugging. So it says like, this beacon's been sent and stuff, and you can get some really good login details. I'll put that in the show notes. And another one is I used to use ad blocker. Because obviously we hate ads, and you know, then it was micro blocker, and now I found this one called Ghostery, and Ghostery is really cool because not only does it block these things, it allows you to pick which ones you block, which trackers. So you can like pick, I don't want New Relic logging me or something, and I don't want Google Analytics logging me, and it's quite particular on what it can block, but it really is interesting because you even just going onto websites and realizing, wow, they use all these things. Like you'll see like all these different types of things that, it's kind of scary how much stuff gets loaded up on like different pages. Yeah. And other than that, actually, I saw Mickey B yesterday. I was very lucky to go around his new house, and it's very nice, and it's all been done and whatnot. It's very, very nice. Me and Amy went round, and we had a really nice time. Thank you, Mickey.
You're very welcome, sir. It was good to see you both. Yeah, it was a good time. We got lucky with the weather. It was all right. I was just going to say, with your Google Analytics stuff, obviously you have to copy like code in that Google gives you.
Yep.
How much you just presumably go and trust that it's Google, right? And they're the good guys.
Well, see, that's
do you
the thing,
check what you put in?
So yeah, I mean, what you do is it's really interesting because the Google Analytics code that we all typically put in is like a block of code that's self-executing, and it just really, as you say, it's just a bit of Google's code, ga.js or whatever it's called or whatever, and you know it then stores a cookie on the machine, you know, for that website, and it will track you, and you think, that's cool, I'll get my analytics that way. But I didn't realize it was just because I thought it would be for page views and it may tell you if it's a mobile or not and stuff. But Then, like, using the experiment stuff is, you use the experiment stuff, and if you load the experiment stuff beforehand, the Google Analytics code actually sends that with it as well. So it's kind of weird. Like, you think, wow, Google Analytics just sends a lot of stuff that you don't know if it's sent, you know, like, it is interesting.
Absolutely.
And you can, I mean, another thing that I did a couple of months ago with Google Analytics was events. So tracking events. And what they are is, so we have...
we did this, yeah.
And you can send event. That's good. Like, you can send events, you know, like different key, you know, like, okay, so this person's clicked on that page, that, you know, and like done this action, and like a JavaScript action maybe. So one of the things we did was we had a modal come up, and if they click close, we then fire an event or this type of thing. And you can fire like non-interactive events, because then it doesn't come to your bounce rate and all this funky stuff. But yeah, it's been a really eye-opening kind of week with Google Analytics.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit this week with they've got like e-commerce trackers.
Oh yes,
so you can. Yeah, I mean, I've not been too involved, like seeing what data it brings through, but
you should really try the Google Analytics extension in Chrome. You'd really benefit from that.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't even realise you could do that. Okay, so if you haven't like log in and stuff, you just got like a little button you press or something.
Well, and it also logs, it tells you, what exactly has been sent. You can see if it's been picked up, what exactly been sent, and all this stuff, because again, it's quite opaque of what's getting sent. You have no idea what Google's getting, and only until it goes live do you realise, crap, I haven't actually set it up properly.
Yeah, I did have that issue, actually, yeah.
Out of interest, you mentioned you were doing A/B tracking. How are you serving up the different pages?
So,
or what are you using to handle that?
To really, you know what, Google experiments, like that they're really, they've done it all. Like, so what the original version of Google Analytics, I think what it did with the A/B was, you just had, so one of the, actually a couple of months ago, what we did was we wanted to test the sign up process, and we had a stepped process. So, you know, you'd have like three boxes to fill in, and what we'd do is we'd have stepped where you go 1, 2, 3, and there'd be different page loads and all that. And then we had one where it was all on the one page, and we wanted to see which one converted better. So what we did was we then, what you do is you just have two like redirects to different unique pages. So we have our first, like what we call the original, which was the full one. So we had 3 boxes on there, and then what we then said was like, okay, out of 100% of the traffic, you know, please test this one, and also randomly make it so it may go to the other one. And then what it does is it's a bit kind of strange, because it will redirect it. Well, it will load up the page, and then immediately, if it wants to redirect to the actual other page, so to the user, maybe they'll see a little bit of a redirect refresh, but they don't really notice it. I mean, in testing, we haven't seen them be, you know, kind of what the hell is this going on, and Google uses it all the time. And then what Google then do is, and it's a very clever thing, it's not like just a 50-50 split. You can tweak that and say, like, I only want like 50% of my traffic being tested, or, you know, I want this one maybe to go a bit better. But it uses, I can't remember what the actual algorithm is, but if it finds out that people are doing better on one of them, so say like actually the stepped process was better than the full process, like the one page, it will actually go along and say, okay, and it will start putting more traffic onto that one. So the winner will win out, and eventually maybe all the traffic's just going through the stepped one. So it will actually work out for you within the time frame you get. Okay, this is the winner, and we're using it now. So you don't have to kind of after 2 weeks then think, actually, no, this was the winner. Why did we not just use that throughout? It will slowly build it up and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Very cool. Yeah. So what about you, Fred? What have you been to tweak?
We've sort of been finishing off the slot game that I've been talking about. That's pretty much done, which is all good. So that's with our QA team now. So they're going through with a fine-tooth comb and testing it on every single different device, and hopefully not flagging any issues, because I think we've kind of captured every eventuality that we could. But obviously these things always come back with various things. So we're going to have to do work on that, I think, when it comes back, and hopefully not too much. And then once our QA's done their bit and we've done our changes, it goes off to the client. They run it through QA as well. And then if they find anything, then obviously it comes back to us, and the process starts. Not the whole process of building the game, but the process of doing the bugs and the QA goes through again. And then once that's all been signed off, then we can actually get them to put it out live, which is pretty exciting. So that's been pretty much my week, to be honest with you. Sorry, go on.
He's got the highest score on
Yes.
Space Beer Cave?
Oh, that is a good question. Let me go through my tweets now. There was a really high score. I think it was like 16,000 or something. Where is he?
Well, some guy from Australia, I think, got 14K or something, and I have no idea.
Spada V8 on Twitter. Yeah, he's got 14,000 points at the moment, so he's way out in the lead. His name's Andrew, but I can't work out he hasn't got his surname on there. So
he is
Andrew, you're way out in the lead. He is absolutely running away. Like, I can't get anywhere close to that. I scored like 10,000 points, I think, when I was developing it, and I've not really. Yeah, I've not really get to even 6 since. Like, every time I go to the toilet, like, the phone's out and I'm trying to play it. But yeah, I can't even get above 6 at the moment. So, Andrew, you're way out in the lead at the moment. So, if anyone wants to challenge him, download the Space Beer Cave and send in your tweets with your high scores. Free to the winner.
Absolutely. And it was funny last Sunday. I was around my family's house and it ended up going because my girlfriend's got a Android phone, and it turned out my brother's girlfriend.
You sent me a picture of Amy playing it.
Yeah, and then my brother's girlfriend's got one, and I was like, "Oh, you should download this game my friend made." And then we were just playing it the whole night. It was ridiculous.
Really?
Man. It's addictive.
Oh, that's kind of cool, man.
It is addictive. It's such a cool game as well. So cool. And I don't know how you built it in one day. How you built it in one day, man, is I just boggle. Yeah, mind-boggling.
It's just by being a massive boss, to be honest.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I would go by that, you know. Just been a boss.
No, it's awfully good. No, it's good. Like, it's nice to see that people are actually enjoying it. It's got
awesome.
The reviews. It's got 4-star reviews at the moment, but the reviews are all kind of my friends, so they don't really count. So the negative reviews seem to be the official ones. But yeah, whatever. Like, there's people.
Haters gonna hate.
There was one. Let me try and find this comment at the moment.
Was it the one you said last week where he was like, all these reviews are fake? And it's like, of course they are. They're my friends. And you can read, when you read them, you realise, this probably isn't a legit review.
Yeah. But there was like this one here. Like, someone's reviewed it. Someone called Monday CNK. Apologies if I butchered your name. But it basically, the review, the headline of the review is, "I want a free t-shirt." And then the comment is the competition still on? Which is fine, but you only reviewed me 3 stars. So yeah, Monday, if you listen to this and you do win the competition's on until the 12th of June. If you do win, I'm going to get you a t-shirt that doesn't fit you.
3 stars. Only 3 stars. Oh, that's mean.
I know. Unbelievable, but no, it's good. It's nice to see that people are actually getting there, because I've had awesome. I think I've had about 100 installs, which it's kind of nice. It's more than I was expecting.
That's cool, man. All these eyeballs seeing your game. It's such a cool game. I don't know how it's built in JS and then it's wrapped up.
Yeah.
It's so cool. You need to get it on the iPhone. I need it on the iPhone.
Yeah, I know. I need to get a new Mac. Like, I really need to go and buy a new Mac. I'm waiting on a couple of chicks to come in for freelance work. So once that's in, then I'm going to take a trip down to the Apple Store.
Yeah. That's the fun time, isn't it? When I had to go down the Apple
Store.
Oh,
Mickey, incidentally, Mickey, do you get an education discount?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know what
would you like to earn yourself some money, and I will split the difference with you.
Not at all, man. Just let you use it. I've let someone else use it, so don't worry about it at all.
Yeah, I'll absolutely
sort 12% or something. So
really,
yeah. I thought you had a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air.
No, I've got a MacBook. I've got a MacBook Air, and it's awesome, but it's just the hard drive's a bit too small. So I want to get one of the new Pros with the
you were saying
still kind of
Xcode.
That's right, yeah. Because Xcode's going to take up like 8 gig or something still. Maybe not 8, but like 4 gig or something silly like that. And I've got like about 200 meg spare, I think, at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
So what better reason rather than clear out my hard drive?
Yeah, exactly. It's a great excuse to do it.
Yeah.
How about you, Mickey?
Pretty good. I'm trying to think. I've not really done anything outside of work, but inside work, I'm just kind of... I think maybe I told you guys a little while ago that I sort of built this spreadsheet configurator thing where you could have like multiple like data sources, lots of different like Excel spreadsheets, CSV files, and basically then you can map it up against the fields in your database.
Ooh.
So yeah, but like it was working all really good, but like this week's the kind of first week when I've been using it in anger, and it's been hard actually. As much as I thought everything through, it's been quite tricky. And
the edge cases.
Yeah, trying to cover absolutely every eventuality, I think it's actually quite a foolish task. And I mean, I'd gone from basically having like the first ever one I used, first spreadsheet was like one product, and every single one of its attributes was on the same row. And now it's gone the other way where you've got like one product can span like 20 rows, and they've all got different attributes on those 20 rows. And so I've managed to get around that. I was like, well, just check to see if we've already got that product ID, then, just treat it as adding more attributes. But then the issue was that for each one of those rows, they all had an individual SKU. So one product which is red, the same product which is blue has a different SKU. Yeah. So then it's trying to get around that, and I was like, well, okay, we'll just start grouping attributes together and say, well, if I've got all of these attributes and I've got this SKU, and it's one of those where it's like, well, in hindsight, I'd have done things differently, but I'm so far down the road now.
Down the rabbit hole already.
Yeah, it was just one of the most frustrating things with programming, don't you think? That like I'm all for refactoring, but sometimes if things are already being used, like in the real world, that's easier said than done sometimes.
It's the change in specs, and it's so hard. And I think that's one of the things about programming, isn't it? Where you're never done. Like a program is never done because there's always something, and you can't say. And I think our mistake is because we're as developers, we really want to make something. It's like, oh, it does everything, and you realise then, oh crap, it doesn't, does it? Because then they say this thing, you're like, well, it can do that. No, it can't. And then you have to tweak it, or then you have to make a new one. And I think that's
or it can do this, but it won't do it like that. Or,
it won't do it like that. And I mean, is there a way of the data that comes in? Do you have any kind of control in the way it looks, or are you really kind of at the mercy of what they want?
Yeah, we kind of are. I think really, like if it was like 3 months ago, we could go back to client and say, no, we need this. But because you're really working to a tight deadline, we kind of lost that sort of option now. So it's kind of just dealing with what we've got. But you see it with like APIs. That's the reason they have versions, right? Because you can't just suddenly change what you do, and you're kind of stuck really. But I will get it working. I think I can see a way that it's going to work, but it's just like computationally a lot more expensive than it needs to be. So that's a shame. But yeah.
So where are these scripts run then? Are they run locally? You do it, or do you run them on the server like every couple of days?
Yeah, exactly. The idea is, at the moment, this isn't really accessible by users. It's only kind of friendly for developers. But at the moment, essentially at some point we'll have like a e-commerce kind of system that people can log into and do all this kind of stuff themselves. So yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, some of these product spreadsheets, you're talking like what I'm using at the moment is 47 megabytes. So it's like, I think it's 36,000 rows. And, it'll run hours I've basically put in a step where you have like a validation process. So it'll just take one product and then it'll actually create like a front end page. So you can actually view it and check everything's coming in right. Yeah. And then if you're happy with that, then you can commit, and then you're best off leaving it overnight, which, a few hours sounds not acceptable, but actually
think about like queues and stuff. You could think about like queues, maybe background queues, and
definitely, I have started thinking about that, and certainly putting some sleep functions in there somewhere, I think, because it is pretty fun. But yeah, it's been an experience, to be honest with you. It's one of those where you kind of wish you had someone who's done this for 10 years to kind of teach you how to do it. One of the best ways of doing it. So at the moment, I'm just learning from my own errors, and yeah. But like I say, Magento, if you ever import with Magento, it takes hours upon hours if you've got a big spreadsheet. So I imagine they've probably made some of the same mistakes as I have, I guess. So,
well, it's just hard, isn't it, as you say, because you don't realise a 47 megabyte CSV file. That's huge. Crazy. And the process, it's going to take that long, and I suppose the only way you can do it is kind of try and split the file up. Into chunks and stuff, then handle those at different times, or paralyze that maybe if you can. But really, you're at the mercy.
Yeah, the biggest the best idea I had at the beginning was I was trying to get it so I was doing too much. I was like, well, look, you know what, you can accept an XLSX file, or you can accept an XLS file, which are completely different, and then or you can accept a CSV. And I was like, you know what, actually, okay, do that. But the very first thing you do is they convert them into CSV files. Yeah. And then you're just dealing with one format. And that helps a lot. And it was a big speed up as well, because suddenly that 47 megabyte file, I didn't get a massive reduction, but probably 8 or 9 meg off that. And it's just a lot easier to read anyway. So, yeah, it's been a really good learning curve, to be honest with you. But it's quite,
sounds really interesting.
Stressful.
How much work are you doing with Magento nowadays?
We were doing quite a lot, and then that's kind of dried up a little bit. And I think the projects we've had come in recently have been so bespoke that, we have looked at doing it with Magento, but it's a real faff. And then you can start thinking, well, okay, well, we can cut down development time by buying modules. And sometimes that is a really worthy thing to do, because you think, well, I'll pay £100 for a module, but, it's going to save 50 hours of development time. But then, you've got to review the code and check that it's good and check there's nothing malicious in there. So there's a real trade-off there, I guess. So,
because you're putting a lot of trust then in that module, because what you're then doing is selling to the client. Really, you're selling other person's code to the client, but you've got to maintain that code. It's code that you've got to maintain for that client who's someone else has made.
Well, yeah, and one of the things my boss says, and I do agree with her on this, was that if you're a hacker as well, what's the best way you can hack someone's server is if you produce a code library and then you rely on the fact that people don't check it. Simply someone will at some point and they'll spread the word, but by that time,
someone's already, that's true. Someone's already, I mean, it's similar to like how they do apps and stuff, like checking if you're doing only the access you need and stuff. Does Magento, I don't know if Magento has kind of like a scanning tool, security.
To the best of my knowledge, man, there's nothing like that.
Wow.
I mean, there might be stuff in like them, maybe there's an official Magento store, I don't know, but like a lot of these models you can just find anywhere basically.
You just pinch the file off the internet or on a GitHub repo and you just assume that it'll be okay. But when you're dealing with e-commerce and stuff, I mean, as you say, it doesn't matter about the HTTPS or any SSL or TLS certificates now. You've got code on your server that's doing stuff without it. Full access to the database, and it can do a lot of harm.
And all these.
And I guess as well, like with WordPress plugins, because there's so many different WordPress plugins out there, and like not even WordPress so much in terms of malicious code, but just poor code that can open up security holes for people who do want to exploit stuff.
They've just you say they've written code that is poorly made, that even though they don't mean that it could cause security issues.
Yeah, well that's it, and WordPress does have that rep, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know if that's fair or not, but I don't know how much checking they do on WordPress extensions, if that's regulated at all. I'm guessing it's not. I'm guessing anyone can make them and anyone can publish them. So
I think so. Yeah.
It's a hard thing because you could do static analysis, like checking, are these functions called and how they're called, etc. But code's so hard, especially in a dynamic language. Well, in a dynamic language, you can do some funky stuff and you think you're doing it fine, but actually you're opening yourself up.
That's it. And I mean, the first thing I would probably look at is like curl requests. I'd look for that kind of stuff, or what's the PHP execute one?
System, all these different ways, proc open, all this weird stuff, and
and SQL attacks. There's a lot of stuff really that you need to check for, I guess. So,
and I think that's where we go with open source stuff. It's kind of scary that we just allow this, but then this is where you do end up then just using tried and tested packages, because a lot of other people use them and they vetted the code as well. And you hope that the community have pretty much wheedled out any problems before you use it.
That's it. But just getting back to your point about Google Analytics, I mean, okay, it's a bit extreme, but like I got asked to put in this tracking code the other day and stuff, and I did it, and I was like, just trusting it because it's Google, right? But in 10 years' time, when Cybernet actually does launch its missiles and stuff, and we could all regret putting in that analytics code, which is going to turn our computers into robots and killers. So,
I mean, they had that problem, didn't they, in China with the DDoS attack on GitHub, where it was a CDN that any traffic that was outside of China that was coming in using like the Great Wall, somehow they were able to redirect it, and they would inject. Well, when they were coming back with the response, like it was like the Google search engine that they used there, and it was actually then just injecting some code that was just DDoSing GitHub. So, and
that is a big thing, because I read that in like Hacker News. I think even yesterday there's a free VPN service. I've not heard of it. I've not used it. Holler or something. Ooh. And they think that's being used as a giant botnet now.
Really?
To do attacks and stuff. And that's the thing. You use something, think, this is a great free service, and that could be actually then undermining your machine and doing stuff that you don't even know about. It's so what we're saying is
don't go on the internet.
Don't go on the internet. Just
wrap yourself in tin foil and write letters. Write yourself in tin foil and just stay in the corner. Life is too scary to do anything.
It really is. Yeah.
Another 3 devs and a maybe. Great, recommendation.
But no, that is me really. I just did that and the tracker stuff. So pretty uneventful week, I guess. So
Sorry, Fraser. Yeah, you were going to say something, and then I kind of
I was just wondering if anyone caught the Google keynote thing.
I heard it was on. I didn't know what.
Yeah, it wasn't
that.
Not a lot, to be honest. Like, it's just kind of adding niceties because there wasn't any groundbreaking stuff, and there was hints that they were going to do or talk about something big in the virtual reality space, and then I was quite excited by that. But it turned out that it was
Google Glass,
cardboard.
Google, cardboard.
And I was kind of hoping that they were going to announce like a really fancy headset to kind of compete with the Oculus Rift or something like that. But all it was they were saying that Google Cardboard, they're making a bigger one for iPhones, which is a bit of a downer. So they've made I say it's a bit of a downer. Obviously, it's good for people with iPhones.
Yeah, now I can do it.
So I think you can get the Google Cardboard app in the Apple Store now, and you can buy cardboards for it. But that's literally all it was. And I was a little bit disappointed by that because I was hoping for some kind of revelation that they were going to take big leaps in the virtual reality space, but that's not come yet. But I guess I'm guessing they're working on it behind the scenes and stuff. But it was kind of interesting.
These scientists and developers need to be, step up their game. God,
they really do. Yeah, they also released 1.0 of Polymer, which is have you heard of Polymer, the new framework? I say the new framework. It's Google have got Angular as a front-end JavaScript framework. They've also got this thing called Polymer. Never touched it. One of the guys in the office playing with it quite a lot, and he absolutely raves about it. Like, he literally won't shut up about it. So he was really excited by that. And it just seems like it's a slightly different way, or a completely different way of doing front-end stuff than you standard kind of MVC frameworks at the moment. It works around this idea of web components, so it's really, really modular. So you can just drop stuff in anywhere, and it with like minimal amounts of code, and it will work anywhere. And it looks really interesting. But I'm not kind of educated enough in it to talk intelligently about it at this stage. But it kind of it seems interesting. It's like the 1.0 release, so it means it's production ready now, and what have you. So it looks interesting. I do need to spend a bit of time with it, but it's just finding time to spend time, I guess.
That's cool. Are all the Google I/O video? I'm sure they're all on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, they will be. Yeah, we stuck around at the office and watched the major part of the keynote and stuff, and it was getting a bit boring, so I left about half an hour from the end. But yeah, they were talking about all the changes in the Android operating system and stuff, and there's not massive stuff. There's a lot of like bug fixing and kind of little features like going into, I can't remember what they called it. I think it was ultra hibernation or something like that. So basically it makes your phone sleep deeper when you're not using it, so that you can get slightly better battery life and kind of nicer integration with web views. So when you're in a native app and stuff, and you click a link to go to like a web page or another app or something, it doesn't, at the moment, you can either have a web view installed in the app, or you can have it like completely switch context into the Chrome app or the whatever browser app you're using. So they kind of do these new web views that kind of, it comes in as an active Chrome session, but it's less intrusive, and it's not like a complete app switch. It's just a layer that sits over the top of the app, which it looks really interesting. But yeah, there was no
cool.
kind of wow.
That's it. Yeah, there's no wows. It's kind of like, I suppose in time you'll think this is a wow. It'd be like a small win for like the developers that need that right now. They'll be probably thinking this is the best thing ever. But yeah, for like the general audience, it's like, where's the virtual reality, man? I want the cool stuff.
Really yeah, exactly. And there was a new update for the Android Watch as well, so I've got that through, and that's pretty cool.
How is the Android Watch? Because now that the iWatch is, the Apple Watch. Well, it's not called the iWatch, is it? It's the Apple Watch. They don't have iWatch anymore. Like have you had a look at the iWatch, the Apple Watch?
I have. Yeah, there's a few guys. Like, we've got a couple in the office for dev testing and stuff, because we're writing stuff for Apple Watch at the moment. And yeah, so I've had a little play around with that. And there's a couple of guys, or there's one guy in the office that bought one for him and his partner as well. So I've had a good play around with the watch, and it does look really nice, and the interface is really nice. But yeah, like it doesn't seem to. Like, I'm not put down at all. Like, it's an amazing thing, and like without it doesn't really do anything that the Google Watch doesn't do. And I don't have kind of watch envy, which I thought I might have.
That's good. Yeah, watch envy. I think that's it. Envy. I think that's a good word. It's like when you see some new bit of tech and you're like, I have envy for that. I've got watch envy.
Exactly.
I've got phone envy. Or
yeah. But it doesn't seem to do anything that the Google Watch doesn't do. Which is kind of good, because one of the things that he showed me, or one of the guys in the office showed me, is you can get City Mapper on your watch. I thought that was really cool, because at the time you couldn't get that on the Android watch, but now they've released this update, so you can run apps directly on the. Yeah, you can run apps standalone and do all that. So that all works exactly the same on the Google Watch now, anyway. But yeah, I still love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever.
That's really so cool, man. And how
are you guys thinking about getting Apple Watches?
Yeah, I actually caught Abby was like ordering mine for my birthday.
Really? So cool.
I stopped her though because I was like, you know what, I do really want one, but like you say, it's just like the money, and I was just going to ask you. I mean, like, what's the price comparison between an Apple Watch and like an Android equivalent? I mean, I'm guessing the price is very.
My Android Watch was 135, and the cheapest Apple Watch
pretty decent.
270, 280.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a crazy price difference, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it really is, and they've really dropped in price the Android watches because I think they're getting to the end of the life of the first cycle. So I think in the next 3 to 4 months, I think the new the second wave are going to start coming through, which is why I think they're kind of selling the current generations off quickly or so cheaply. But the Moto 360, do you remember the kind of the round one that there was a big marketing push behind when it came out? That came out. I think that was 250 when it came out, and you can pick one of those up for 130 quid now.
Wow.
And it's a gorgeous piece of kit, but yeah, they're imminently expecting the release of the new one anyway, so it's...
But I take it, I mean, presumably it's the same sort of situation with the Apple Watch, that if you've got an Android watch, you need an Android sort of handset as well to get a lot of the features, right? That's
correct, yeah. They're talking about releasing, obviously it depends on whether Apple let it through into their store, but they're talking about making Apple Watch compatible with iPhone. Yeah, I can't see Apple allowing that, to be honest with you, because it's going to be a major competitor to what they're doing, isn't it?
Be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You kind of feel
what
that
they do, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of feel that it would be nice, because actually, to be honest with you, it sounds bad, but I would probably spend the 130 quid for the Apple or for the Android watch, just because of the price and to see how it is and stuff, and then use my iPhone.
Yeah.
Then I would buy the Apple Watch for that price and think, do I really need it? I think Android devices, they have great sweet spots with money, don't they? Like the price, of it, and you're like, I can get one. Okay, it's worth it. Even if I only use it a little bit, it's worth it to try it and stuff. And
that's the thing, because you can spend 130 quid on a digital watch anyway, can't you? Like, that just tells the time. So
that's exactly,
if you're going to get one, then why would you? And in terms of sport watches and stuff, because I wanted to get this one because it's got like GPS, so I can take it for runs and all that kind of stuff. Like, an equivalent just standalone GPS sports watch is like 270 quid anyway, so like it's just an absolute no-brainer
to actually get all this with all the extras as well.
Exactly, and the only detriment is the battery life on this isn't as good as it would be on a standalone GPS watch, but I'm not going to be running for 12 hours at a time, so it's...
So how is it then? Like, at the end of the day, you like plug in your phone to charge, but you also now plug in your watch.
I do that, yeah. But I can comfortably get 2 days out of my Apple Watch, not my Apple Watch, my Android Watch, yeah. But I will plug it in every night.
That is cool, because you're always worried. It goes down. Yep. And one thing actually, Fraser, because of obviously looking on the old Instagrams and stuff, how was Holland? How was Amsterdam?
It was good, man. It was really good fun. Yeah. We got the train to Antwerp on Thursday morning, which is in Belgium, and then cycled 110k to Rotterdam that day, and then a night in a hostel, and got really drunk in the hostel because we've been riding the bikes all day. So it was it wasn't we didn't have that many drinks. It was like 2 or 3 drinks, and I was pretty much gone. So we had a few drinks in the hostel, and then went out for a steak at about 11 o'clock at night, which was really good. And then on the following day we rode 65 miles to Amsterdam. Not 65 miles, 65k to Amsterdam. Was it 65? I think it turned up a bit more than that anyway, but if we'd have not got lost, it would have been 65k, but we ended up getting lost a little bit. So we had an Airbnb in Amsterdam, a couple of days in Amsterdam. We just spent 1 day in Amsterdam itself because it was alright, but it was just full of pissed up Brits, as you could expect. We had a day in Amsterdam and did the standard Amsterdam stuff. And then we rode our bikes out to the coast on the Sunday, and then on the Monday we rode back to the Hook of Holland, which was like another 100, it was pretty much dead on 100 kilometres. Rode back to the Hook of Holland, and I got the overnight ferry back to Harwich in Essex, and then got in 6 o'clock Monday morning, and I was straight into the office from there.
You're insane, man. So you actually, you came all the way back just to then go to work for the whole day?
Yes.
Insane.
Yeah. It was brutal because I didn't realise that we'd be coming back, because the organisation was taking care. There were 7 of us that went, and there was like 2 people in particular that did all the organisation. So I was like, whatever, just tell me what we're doing, and I'll turn up and do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So they said, we're coming back on Monday. So I assumed we'd be coming back Monday day, but it turned out we were coming back Monday night. So I didn't bother getting the Tuesday off. And then they're like, oh no, we're getting the overnight ferry. It's going to be.
Oh no.
So got off the ferry. We had a few drinks, messed around on the as you do, because it's. And in England at like 6 o'clock, and got back on the bike, and then got to the train station. I'm like, no, you can't get on the train with your bike until rush hour.
What?
So I'd been in Harwich 8:15 or something, and then finally managed to get in. It was 45 minutes late, but it's fine. The bike right with it.
Crazy, sir, crazy. Oh dear.
And what do you make of Amsterdam? Because obviously you went quite recently.
I went there last year. I liked it. It's an experience. You have to go, don't you? You have to say you've been there.
Yeah.
I think you probably did a nicer way. You did like actually saw more of the countryside and more of like real Amsterdam and like around Holland than just the centre. Because I think it's like London, isn't it? Like go to London, but then you don't really go and see anything else. How was it riding your bike around there? Because was it just all flat, pretty much?
It was really flat. I thought it was absolutely awesome. Like cycling around London and stuff. You constantly cycling around cars and stuff. We must have ridden our bikes 250 kilometres, if not a bit further, over the space of like 4 days, and we probably spent 2 miles on real roads, and the rest of the time was on cycle lanes, and it was insane. Like,
the cycle lanes go. Isn't it? Even in Amsterdam, they just cater for bikes. You just know, they're first-class citizens everywhere. Yeah,
it's insane. Just absolutely insane. And there was like, you've got a main road going down the road, and then there's a divider, and then a bike lane. So you're never cycling within traffic, and it's awesome. But they let mopeds on the bike lanes, which is a bit spooky.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, so like you're cycling down, and then you hear like a beep, and you look behind, and there's like a couple of people on a moped.
You're cheating. You're on a moped
hanging off. Yeah, exactly. But it was pretty cool though. It was really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd go back to Amsterdam for Amsterdam's sake, but yeah.
Well, that's it. Exactly. You do it if you do it once, and then because I know Mickey, you're going, aren't you? But for a stag do this.
I think 3 weeks time. Yeah,
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wicked! How long are you going for?
Yeah, just 2 nights. So
enough.
Yeah,
that's
enough.
Be
good.
That would be really good, man.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm
And how many?
A little bit nervous, but yeah. I think it's about 10 of us actually. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, it should be good, but just keeping up and stuff will be a difficult one, yeah.
You can
are you flying out there or driving?
Yeah, EasyJet, I think from Gatwick. So, yeah, it was dirt cheap. It was like £100 return flight, so...
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, their train system there's so good. You go to the station, you go to the airport, they've got a station there, and you just go into the middle of Amsterdam, and that's it, you're done.
Yeah.
And I think Toby's saying to us, he really wants to come into the conversation. Bless him.
You've been picked up on that. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Little Toby.
Just an episode all over again. Toby, well, right now, not happy, but
he wants to be on the podcast.
He's really hungry, apparently.
Otherwise, he's really good. He's just woken up from his sleep, so I think Abby's just going to go and rescue him.
Bless
him. He's really good. He's 2 top front teeth coming through, so that's causing him a bit of grief, and like you can see his cheeks go really red when they're like pushing through. So, but yeah, he's doing.
We were showing off his teeth yesterday, and he only cried once.
Showing off his teeth.
He only cried once, and that's when he fell over. And he didn't cry. I mean, that's it. The whole day.
And he was cracking onto your girl, wasn't he?
Oh, he was.
Was he?
He was working his moves with Amy. It was quite in front of me. The thing with him is like, look, he knows he's that cute. He's like, on that damn cute, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I can take what I want. He goes, I can take what I want.
So is Amy getting all broody now? She's going to be asking you.
She does comment.
Oh no! We
already done... Ed was more broody. I don't know. You were getting into it, weren't you?
Oh man, yeah, your baby's so cool though. He's cool. The thing is, if you haven't, like, your baby's so easy to handle as well. He's like no hassle. He's not like a baby that you need. Yeah, you just like. He's happy just to. I mean, really, he's just happy to just sit there and like think about stuff. That's a great baby.
Yeah.
What's going on in life. He ponders on thoughts and whatnot.
It's pretty low maintenance, to be honest. Pretty good.
You have got an epically awesome baby. Sorry, Justin. From last episode. Bless him.
Oh, I felt bad for him.
Dear.
I just sent you a link.
What's this?
I think I spoke to Ed about it briefly yesterday.
Oh, I clicked on that and it started making noises, and I panicked and closed it down.
No, sorry, I was going to warn you, and I
got
caught out as well. So obviously I was pretty well documented. I told you to and shouted it from the rooftops that I got my Infinity in the week.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not listening in the UK, Infinity is like BT's brand for...
And it's actually 25 megabytes. We've now deduced that Infinity means 25 megabytes.
That's 5. You heard it here first, yeah.
And
yeah, so I've got my really good, well, certainly good download now. But I told my colleague Jason at work, and he was like, "Oh, you think that's good?" He was like, "Look at this," and he showed me this ultra fiber optic. It's only available in York at the minute, but I think it's like TalkTalk and Sky's broadband company. They've sort of teamed together and they're launching this technology, which apparently is like a lot more common in Europe. But it's like 1,000 megabits per second. And like when you're on the website, it says like the time you've been on this website, you could have downloaded this. And it's like 3 seconds, you've got like 2 Ultra HD movies or whatever. It's just insane.
That's insane.
So why York of all places? Is it just where the infrastructure that they can cope with it, or must be?
It's a really good question. I've no idea, but I wonder if it's
York got that we haven't got. You know, that's what I mean.
The other guy that I work with from Romania, he said that they've had this for years, but he said they didn't have the old infrastructure to replace. It was all new. So like,
they can do what they
think
wanted.
now, it's like, yeah, and like, I'm sorry, I've already said this to Ed and stuff, but I was learning so much from the BT engineer who came out to me, but he was saying like, BT could have put like fibre to everyone's doorsteps, but like because of monopoly laws in this country, which is probably a good thing, they weren't allowed to do it. So obviously now all we get is like, fibre, if you're lucky, to your local cabinet, and then from the cabinet to your doorstep is copper, unless you've got a brand new house or whatever. And then a lot of these now, as part of the housing schemes, you do get fibre to your doorstep. But it's obviously the copper bit where you get all the resistance. So I think this new service is just fibre straight to your door, and obviously you've got no resistance at all. So the speed that you're told you're going to get is probably the speed you get, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. That's so cool. Didn't you say that it was working at 95% or 98% or something?
Yeah,
that was one of the things the engineer said.
Yeah, I don't fully understand like the technology and stuff, but he showed me that speed test. He had like an iPhone and then some software on it that did all the testing. And he was showing me, it was like, it was 27 down. And, but it was saying like it was running at like 98% capacity or something. I don't know how that works. But he said to me, I'll lose about 2 megabits per second over the next couple of days because of you can't constantly run at 98%. So, yeah, and he was pretty much true to his word. I'm getting now 25. I was on 27. So, yeah.
But it sounds perfect. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere, and like I tweeted you guys yesterday, like the 4G that I was able to get at his house, which was insane.
I couldn't believe that. Yeah, that was good. Next approach actually. See if I get 4G.
Yeah, I'm getting 4G. In your
4G is super quick as well.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah. I got like 17 down and then 3 up or something, and it's just like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Suddenly your upload's a lot better than mine, so I'm still only getting one up. But yeah, it's interesting stuff, but I mean, I guess you think like how far we've come, like since the days of dial-up. Probably like what we've got now is going to seem pretty shocking in like 10 years' time.
It'll be horrible. I mean, actually, talking about 10 years' time, do you know that YouTube is 10 years old? It was 10 years old this week.
Wow. Do you remember what the first video you saw on YouTube was?
Oh no, God!
I do.
Question.
And it was a whale getting blown up.
Who said that?
One of the guys I was working with at the time. It was like a maintenance job anyway. And he had his laptop with him, and he's like, "Oh, have a look at this!" And it was video of a whale that had been washed up on a beach somewhere. And apparently, the way they dispose of these whales is just by filling them with dynamite and blowing them up to get rid of them.
Dave, that's insane.
That's mad. But that was my introduction to YouTube
video. And I think the joke was that YouTube's been around for 10 years, but it's still not profitable. Like it still hasn't made profit or something. Yeah, Google I don't know if that's exactly true, but I suppose the thing is Google does do ads and stuff, but you think how much infrastructure they have to have. But
I think a lot of people are moving on to things like Vimeo as well, aren't they?
There are good competitors. There are really good Vimeo.
I don't like Vimeo.
Really? I think it's quite. I think it's more sleek.
Like it is more sleek, but it's not as fast and. Like, there's not as much video on there, and the video that is on there is just a little bit too arty for my
I think it's a bit more of a hipster kind of, putting it on there, because you normally would put... I mean, and one thing I do love is YouTube-download, DL, which is a Python application, and you can just download so much stuff from YouTube, like music, Oh, it's so good. And you can so there was a couple of users and a couple of the users had like a lot of like video music I wanted. And I was like, well, I just thought, screw it. I might as well do this. And what you can do is actually say, I just want the audio. I split the audio out. So you don't get the videos, you just get the audio. I want the highest quality of audio you can get. And it will download all of them for you, puts it in a folder. And you're like, yeah, there we go. Got the music. And it's kind of legal because it's coming from YouTube servers. But I don't really believe that, obviously. Don't do privacy, kids. Don't do privacy.
Definitely legal then.
Yeah.
I actually, one thing I did post in the chat room is just a quick, it's a little image. It was floating around this week, and it's awesome. It's Developers Against Humanity, and I want to believe
because it's the Cards Against Humanity is the game that we played at yours, isn't it?
That's it. I want to believe this is true. But yeah, I won't read out what they're thinking. Well, yeah, 413 entity too large errors brought the orgy to a grinding halt is the card combo there, and I just thought it was awesome. I just hope this exists. Developers Against Humanity. There is
if it doesn't, you should make it.
Well, this is it. But there is actually another. It's a card. So, I mean, it's a really simple game, Card Against Humanity, and there is a Chromecast app that people have made called Cardcast Game. And what this is it's the same thing, but people just generate card packs, and there's so many of them. And I would even get just a Chromecast for this because you can get all these different, card games and stuff, and you can then use, you can play them. It's awesome.
Oh, that looks cool. And Chromecast is literally the thing that you plug into your HDMI socket and then you transmit to it from your Android.
That's exactly
that
it.
That looks cool. And they're only £30 as well, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I was really annoyed when it isn't out for the Amazon Fire Stick, because I was like, oh, come on, you can do this, but you can build your own page, you can build your own deck as well. So you can have like a custom built deck for certain friends coming over and stuff, and have a good laugh. And yeah, I think it's really awesome. And I mean, this is the cool thing about these games. It's such a simple game as well, but it's awesome.
Our Chromecast is only £25 as well on Amazon at the moment.
Going down there.
I might have to get one. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Costing you money again. One thing randomly I was doing last Friday actually was, so we finally released we did I think the last episode actually I was talking about it, but I wasn't able to talk about it. We released Conductor. And Conductor is, so the presentation went really well at the Symphony meetup, extended really well, and we released this product called, well, not product, but tool called Conductor. And essentially what it allows you to do is it allows you to have, so one of the things with Composer, and it really has, it's been great for dependencies, but the idea really is normally what you do is you split up your packages into repositories, different repositories. And that's great for open source projects, your Laravels, kind of like the Symphony components that are very unique and specific. But with like a business app and actually having an application, a product that you're trying to release, you still want the ability to have these separated dependencies, but you want the ability to be in one repository, because big companies like Google and Facebook have realized that having one repository is great because it allows you to then cross boundaries. Say I'm doing an edit on the admin side and the marketplace side, or the front end, I can do a commit and a pull that has all the changes in, whether normally typically what would happen in a different, multiple repositories is what you'd do is you'd have the changes to that one, and you'd have to keep them in sync. And it'd be very strange because you look at a commit at, like, say, the front end level, and you'd be like, okay, this is all that's changed. And you realize, no, the bug or the problem's because of the change that happened in the admin. And deployment obviously is hard. So having one repository has, major benefits. But it does then lose the fact that Composer really doesn't, you're so used to bringing in packages using, different repositories. So what Conductor does is it really provides the best of both worlds. So you can have the separation by folder structure, and you can then also just have the single repository. So it's a really cool tool. And one thing I added to it on Friday was the ability to package it up as a PHAR file. So similar to like jar files, those, Mickey. What you can do is you just build it up, package this app up into a .phar file, similar to how Composer is. And I even was able to add self-auto updating as well. So you can actually do, like, again, what Composer does, and just do self-update. And I host the PHAR files, so the distributions, the different versions, on GitHub pages. There's a couple of projects that work really well. Box was really the driving force behind it, because it worked so well just generating this PHAR file for me. And then I used a blog post that I put in the show notes, which was being able to distribute these PHP, command line applications and stuff. And it was step-by-step guide, really good, really awesome. Hoping to get that pushed into master this week, and yeah, I'm really proud of it. I mean, it was one of those nice little tech debt type things where you're like, yeah, I really wouldn't mind getting FAR support in self-update, and it worked out, and I did it in a day. And it's always great when you get those little wins just before the weekend.
That is cool. And are you still working from home, or are you in the office again?
I am. I went up to the office on Wednesday, but I'm still working from home, yeah, and still loving it. Providing me with all the flexibility, and yeah, it's awesome.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's nice setup and everything I've got, so it works well. And I haven't been.
And it'll save you a bomb on the commute as well, won't it?
It does, yes. And just doing the commute is just it's a chore. It's a task. Oh man, but I mean, yeah, I really enjoy it. And the great thing about it is that, I think, I mean, I've done freelance work. Well, not I've done freelance work before, but I've done like working from home before, and I enjoyed it, and I also didn't enjoy it. And I think for now, at the moment in time, for me, it's really working. Like, I'm getting the benefits out of it without the negatives. Because I still do, I mean, they're great, because at work I log in, I go on Hip Chat, I do check in with them in the morning over video and stuff at 9:30. So we still have that kind of, talk, and I'm easily able to just, ring them up and contact them when I need to and stuff. And that's the beautiful thing about these technologies. If you use them right, you really get, the best of both worlds, where you get to get on with your work, and, I can be here and I can go around, help out and do what I need to do here, but I can also talk to them and be kind of almost in there, face to face via these technologies. So it's awesome. And review tools, and we're talking about like Joe Watkins and stuff, and even GitHub's great just for review tools, being able to pick out code and stuff like that. So no, I'm really enjoying it.
Nice. I was going to say, the thing you told me about yesterday that you're working on, is that top secret at the minute, or can you
the JavaScript thing, or
yeah
that thing?
That was the colour thing, right?
Oh right, yeah. Well, yeah. So there's a couple of things actually. So I've been looking around a lot at, like, because I'm colorblind. I don't know if I told on the show actually, but because I'm colorblind, like, I find that it's very hard, like, sometimes to pick out what color thing is. You just want to know what color is that in every normal person's eyes. And so what I've been able to do is I've been Googling online, and I found that there's a couple of algorithms, different color spectrums that work really well. It's called XYZ, that you can actually convert, RGB values into it. And what you can do is then use like Euclidean distance even. And it does some more funky stuff. But you can then see the distance between colours as our eyes perceive it. Because the representation on the computer, how we represent on the computer, how similar an RGB value is, doesn't necessarily mean it's that true. But this actual way of representing color does, and it works really well. I've got a demo on my workshop page, which people can check out, but I'm thinking about maybe appifying that, seeing what Fraser's been able to do, and I'm thinking it's so cool, the ability and seeing what I can do with that, and maybe having like an app that you can, you get a camera, you put your camera up, and it'll just tell you what the dominant color is. Because I don't know how well that'll work, but I'm thinking it may help me. So maybe it helps someone else. So yeah, that's kind of that kind of side what I've been doing. And another thing that I was annoying my housemates with this week was so JavaScript stuff. I've been playing with Morse code. I don't know why. I thought about it. And generating Morse code is like generating actually just the values of, okay, this is a dit and this is a dash, dot, is pretty easy because it's just a hash table. Lookup table pretty much. But then I wanted to generate the WAV files and generate the audio. And I was like, can this be done? And then I found out I can do it. So I've been generating WAV files using JavaScript. And then, and they work. Like, it actually works. It's really cool. You generate the file, you generate the headers, and you generate the audio file and the actual audio, the actual WAV file. And it can play it and stuff, and I'm hoping to kind of get at least a working version out and released, and a blog post, and then carry on playing with it, because I love the idea of because a couple of years ago, WAV generation, like, someone has made in the smallest bit of code, I think it's like Silent Night or something, in like a WAV file, and it's so small, C code or something, and it's ridiculous. And to be able to do it in JavaScript as well is just insane, because obviously JavaScript's just the WebAssembly, so anyone's got it. And yeah, it's quite fun. It's a lot of fun just playing around with these different things. And I mean, I never knew Morse code before. I was like, let's learn Morse code by doing a program on it, and kills two birds with one stone.
That's pretty cool. And it's always fun just messing around with fun little projects like that.
That's
as well,
it, because you learn stuff, and you can kind of be like, generating files like WAV files. When am I ever going to need to do that? But like learning, it's learning actually like file format structures and stuff like that, which is really interesting. And then you go into, this needs to be, the amount of stuff you can do just in even high level like languages like JavaScript of bit shifting and stuff like that, and it's really interesting, really cool, and really fun.
Sorry, Toby was crying. I thought.
Yeah. T-Bone.
I did have one very last quick thing.
Yes.
If that's all right.
Go for it, man.
I think literally just go in the show notes, really. But it's just like if anyone is just playing with Laravel and they're playing on and they've got macOS set up and you've just not touched your PHP or Apache setup or anything like that, you'll probably find that you need the mcrypt extension. It seems to be my problem every time I do anything, but this article was really good, and I just followed it to the T, and it worked perfectly. So, anyone who's got that issue,
because you've been playing around with the new Laravel 5 now.
Yeah.
Have you been playing around with?
Yeah.
How are you finding it?
Well, like Fraser was saying before, I couldn't really talk about it with any confidence, but certainly I think the last version of Laravel I played with was Laravel 3, and I couldn't believe how different Laravel 5 is actually. So I'm, massively behind with Laravel, but I'm having to do a bit of catch up over the summer. So
that's awesome, man.
So far, I managed to get it set up in. Well, I had to do the mcrypt thing, which took me maybe 10 minutes, and then using Compose and everything is dead simple, isn't it? You're away within minutes, and all I really did is found my welcome controller, and I think I created a couple of routes and just tested it out. But I need to get clued up on things like middleware, which I know you were talking about last week or the week before. So all those kind of things I need to really get clued up on now. And
well, that's because Symfony has actually the PSR 7. So that was another thing we were talking about. The kind of. It was funny how people were saying, it's just the DTOs of data transfer objects of what we think a request and a response should be now as a PSR 7 support, and it's great because Symfony has actually started supporting that already. So in 2.7 they've released it, and it's like, okay, we now support this DTOs, we now support this this standard, and obviously with that it means Laravel supports it because it uses Symfony's components, so it's great that now we're getting traction. Now we're going to have all these standards, and you'll be able to use kind of what I was saying last time, this crazy idea of you have middlewares, and you have like maybe a simple middleware that just maybe deals, I don't know, with authentication, and it just solely and then it will go up to the next one, and maybe it decorates the header saying, this is this user, and then it's a Laravel one, and that Laravel one maybe, I don't know, does some funky stuff, but then it needs to go then to a Symfony one, and then it may need to go to, I don't know, another one, and it's so cool that you can then stack these different applications up, but using this simple, standardized format of transferring these objects. So really good work by the team, the PSR team.
Yeah. Well, I think we should, unless anyone's got anything else to say, perhaps we should.
No, I think that's been a really good episode. I think we've done a great, morning episode. This is probably the earliest. Actually, is this the earliest podcast we've done, or did we do that? What about the first one we did? The first one was early, I think.
No, that was an evening, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was. Oh, was it an evening?
The first one ever?
The first one ever was an evening or more. I don't actually know.
I think that was an evening.
That was an evening.
No, I don't know. We did do some morning ones,
but I think this may be the earliest one. So there you go, the earliest 3 Devs and a Maybe episode
there
ever.
You go. Don't get too excited.
Yeah, let's see how it comes out.
Yeah. Cool. All right, chaps. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Ed and Fraser, for
absolutely.
Well, thank
Do
you.
we know anything more about Web in the Woods? I want to see if we're on the website yet.
Yeah, we still basically need to go through with that. I think, like, kind of work out and talk to Squidders.
Yeah, we're not even on the event plan for that at the moment, but we will definitely be there. So if anyone wants to come and see us do a live show in Web in the Woods in Kent,
maybe we've been axed or something. Maybe we've done something controversial.
To be honest, the better podcast coming around was only inevitable. Yeah. It was going to happen.
We were fringe act. We were always likely to be chopped. Yeah.
We're the best.
We're the best.
And the competition is still on as well. If anybody wants to win a 3Devs t-shirt, download Space Beer Cave on the Google Play Store and send in your high score by the 12th of June, and whoever has a high score, I will send you a 3Devs t-shirt to anywhere in the world.
Yes.
And there'll be an iOS competition coming up as well. As soon as I get my new Mac or clear some space for Xcode, then I will do another competition for iOS users as well.
Awesome, dudes. Well, thank you so much. Great. Enjoy your Sundays, whatever you're doing today. Enjoy it, and audience, enjoy whatever you're doing today, or I hope you had a good day, or have a good day tomorrow.
Cool.
And we love you all.
And we love you all, yeah.
All right. Cheers.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
You've been listening to 3 Devs and a Maybe. You can contact us at contact@3devsandamaybe.com or follow us on Twitter at 3 Devs and a Maybe.